Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into the topic today, I need to say something. Right now, if you guys could see my face, I'm smiling from ear to ear because guess what? After 2 years of slugging my guts on this channel, because I started this channel in April of 2022. And now, today, I got a message from YouTube that I have reached 1 million views. 1 million views. And guys, I could never have done this without you. 1 million views. Yes. So I took 2 years to reach 1 million views. Now I'm going to see how long it's going to take me to reach my next million. Because believe me, I'm going for that second million views. Now, guys, let's go into the topic. This little girl, her name is Sheldon Dobson. This beautiful little girl is no longer with us. On the 20th of January 2022, she actually died in the Black River Hospital. Now, one of the tragedies, because there are several tragedies in this case. How she died is a misadventure. She was left in a car, in her dad's car, at the Black River police station when he went and parked the car, left the car with her during his shift, and had forgotten about her. By the time they found her, she was unresponsive, but still alive. They took her to hospital and she died 3 days later. Currently, the case is in court and her dad, Detective Sergeant Sheldon Dobson, is being charged with manslaughter. Well, I don't know how many of you guys have heard about this case or what you thought about it, but let me give you some background. This incident had happened a short while soon after the attempted coup in Haiti, in which the Haitian president Jovenel Moïse had been assassinated, and an attempt was made to take over the Haitian government. At that time, there was a senator in the Haitian government called John Joel Joseph. How him get 3 first name, I don't know, but the man, his name is John Joel Joseph. And what he did, he ran away soon after the coup, and he came to Jamaica, maybe by boat, and he was hanging out right there in St. Elizabeth. He and his wife and 2 children. Some people say he was part of the coup, or he participated in the coup. Other people say he was actually one of the men standing by. When the coup happened, he think they would have killed him too, so he ran. Anyway, after a few months, the Jamaican government became aware of his presence in the country and had taken him into custody, or was about to take him into custody. And at that time, this was a high-profile case because this was a government minister in Haiti, not yet resigned, but seeking asylum in Jamaica. And the person who was in charge of that investigation was Detective Sergeant Sheldon Dobson. He had been given plenipotentiary powers by the minister himself at the time to go down there and handle the matter, because this was a sensitive matter, because it entailed both government to government cooperation. There was some diplomatic implications and so on and so forth. And this was put in the hands, such a sensitive case, of course, was put in the hand of experienced sleuth Detective Sergeant Sheldon Dobson. On the morning when the team was supposed to go down there, because there were some men who were coming from Kingston and others who were also coming from St. Elizabeth. And in that same day, they got some very disappointing news. I mean, Sheldon Dobson, Sergeant Sheldon Dobson, he and his wife, who is also a police sergeant, they got some bad news. His wife's mother had taken ill because his wife's mother is the one who takes care of the little girl. But he didn't get much sleep the night before because he had to take his wife's mother to the hospital and stay there with her for some time. And now, by the time he reached home, they had to find somebody else to keep the little 18-month-old girl so they could go to work. By the time him reach home and take a little spin, he had to jump up and get ready because they were already calling him to lead the team down to go check on this Haitian senator. The wife then made some arrangement with somebody else to keep the child for them until one of them gets back home in the evening because of course they still had to go to work regardless. So he get the little girl's toys and her change of clothes and so on, put her in the back of the car, in her child's seat, strapped her in safely, and left out early so that he could drop the child off and head to work. While on his way in, it's like many calls were coming through for how he's going to deal with it, where to find them, and his entire team was getting ready to go out. So he was on the phone giving directions to them, saying what the day's itinerary would have been, the amount of men he would have with him under his command, etc., etc., etc. My man, in a sleepy state and top-turb, his child had never been in his car on a work day. Full stop. He got so distracted that he, instead of driving and going to the nanny who is going to keep the little baby for the day, that he ended up just driving straight to the station. He was so committed to his work. When he reached work, his entire team was there waiting on him because he was team leader. He just parked his car, jumped over into the other vehicle, get his team together, organized everything, and within moments they left out for a place called Warminster in southeast St. Elizabeth, which was about a 45-minute road trip from Black River. Well, they got there, deal with what they had to deal with, and so on and so forth. Somehow, in all of that chaos, the man had forgotten that his child was in the back of the vehicle. One, his mother-in-law was sick the night before he took her to the doctor, stayed with her at the hospital till she get through, almost till they like, come in, get about an hour or two sleep, jump up again. Everybody are calling from diplomat to people in the National Security Ministry, to people to advise him how to deal with it. His team members are there waiting on him, blah, blah, so on and so forth. Him not ever having his child in the car before on his way to work. Never drop off the child at a creche or at a daycare before. So it just slipped him because he knew him just left him here and go straight to work. By the time they realized what had happened, what you think happened? The baby was unresponsive when they found the child later in the afternoon. The baby died 3 days later in the Black River Hospital. But here is what the worst tragedy of this case is that the DPP asked that he be prosecuted, decide that he should be prosecuted for manslaughter. Now, my first response to this, is that the DPP is wrong because I personally think that an extreme error has been caused in this case. While this man, obviously a loving, caring father and husband, is now dealing with the tragic death of his 18-month-old baby, he is now facing a manslaughter charge. I don't know if that makes sense. To me, while I don't see negligence at all, I see just that the man was just out of it for many, many reasons. Sick mother-in-law, lack of sleep, having to deal with an international case which could turn out to be an international incident, diplomatic connotations, and sensitive to the implication of the future relationship between Haiti and Jamaica. And I'm quite sure that the United States would be watching on and would be having some say under the quiet in it. We know how them hate Haiti. What I'm trying to understand though is why under those circumstances did the DPP, Paula Llewellyn, decide to prosecute? My first thought is that she's insensitive and she's just kicking the man when he's down. But, after some months and I thought things through, I say things might not be as it seems. First of all, is the DPP aware of all that I know? Because personally, I don't see recklessness involved in all this. And it's recklessness which can cause one to be charged for manslaughter. To me, this was just death by misadventure. But the DPP saw it differently. But the question is, why? Now, why I say we don't blame the DPP, and I wouldn't want to blame the DPP for being being insensitive at this point. Because what we have to understand, personally, where Paula Llewellyn is concerned, I think she's an extremely capable DPP. And personally, I don't think I've ever seen any bias in anything that she has done so far, nor do I think she's incompetent. Here is why. Now, listen to me, a lot of people don't disagree, but here is why. The DPP does not go out and investigate any case on her own. Whatever case comes before the DPP, it's policemen, the investigating officers who prepare the files and put them on her desk. She can only go by what she sees on her desk. Now, the police who investigated the case of Detective Sergeant Sheldon Dobson were all these factors that I mentioned in the investigative report that was sent before the DPP. Well, if that had been sent, then I think she is the most insensitive piece of stone I've ever seen. Because, as I said, the DPP works off what is in front of her. What did she see in the reports and in the file that came up on her desk that made her think that this man should have been prosecuted? That's what I want to know. However, she had the option of not prosecuting him for this case. And when the man is there mourning, two dedicated policemen, police parents, who are mourning the death of their young child and who are totally devastated, obviously, by her loss. And you going to take the man and say he must answer charges for manslaughter? Guys, I'm no lawyer, but I know enough to know that there are two main elements to prove manslaughter. One is negligence and two is recklessness. But I can't see how negligence or recklessness are elements in this particular case. There is also another aspect called mens rea. And mens rea actually means having a criminal mind or having a criminal intention. And I don't see how that would apply in this case either. So, if none of those elements were present, well, I'm assuming that none of those elements were in the report that was placed on Paula Llewellyn's desk. How would she reach there to say the man ought to be charged for manslaughter? How insensitive can one be? It's not like him lock her up in a house and go on a party and the house burned down. It was neither recklessness nor carelessness. And if none of that are involved, I want a legal person to tell me where is the element for a criminal charge in all of that happened. To me, this is one of the worst case of misfortune and human misery that has been brought on anybody by the Jamaican legal system. And if anybody know Detective Sergeant Sheldon Dobson, please ask him to get in touch with me, because I would definitely love to speak with that man. And when he was arrested, they put him on $750,000 bail. And eventually they had to drop it to $200,000. And now the man have to find millions and millions of dollars in lawyer fees. Plus, right now, him not getting no pay. And of course, that's pending the outcome of this. Now, if there is any police in St. Elizabeth or anywhere else that know this detective sergeant, ask him to get in touch with me, because I would really love to get the fullness, whether it's somebody there at his police station who wrote something negative in the files before it got to the DPP, or everything was as I said it is, and the DPP knew but still prosecuted him. I need to know that, because it seemed that he was not only being prosecuted, but he was under the quiet being persecuted. Guys, if I get any further information on this, I will update you and let you know. Because this is clearly a case of injustice. Losing your child and then have your career and your financial life wrecked. All by the Jamaican government while you're trying to do the government's job. Guys, I'm just done. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.